We're going to Kansas City. Kansas City, here we come.
Really?
Oh.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the cigar pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and with me, as always,
Gator.
We are fresh off of a trip to Kansas City. We went out west for the Kansas City Cigar Festival, and we're here with all of the details as we perceive them.
So much fun.
It was a lot of fun.
We had a great time.
I mean, if you're on Instagram and you want to check out the pictures and you're not following the Cigar Pulpit, which I don't know why you would be, but you need to, go ahead and check out the hashtag Nick and Gator do KC. It's just chock full of our ignorance, but anyway.
We met Winston Churchill. He was not amused.
He was not amused with being called to cross-dresser.
No, frowned at. Never saw him not frowning.
No, he was stone-faced
scowling
frowning
at us, actually.
So, Friday, September 6th, Jeff and I piled in the car and made our way west, about 4 hours from St. Louis, where we call home. And we got to Kansas City and proceeded to just get ignorant within 10 minutes of being in the hotel.
Easily 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe sooner.
I'm trying to think, was there any driving ignorance that we need to highlight?
Other than the fact that made us late again.
Well, that's true, but, I mean, there's nothing unusual about that.
No, that's to be factored in.
Yeah. But no, we got to the hotel, and within 10 minutes of us being there, Jeff broke the toilet.
Okay. Now, when Nick says that, it kind of implies that I sat on it and it was crushed under my, weight. That's
girth.
Not the case.
It was not.
It's not the case.
No, I'm not.
I
I'm not
flushed the
saying
toilet,
that.
and then it wouldn't stop running, and it was a continuous swirl.
And all I'm hearing from the hotel room, the main part of the room, was this running toilet, this constant stream of swear words, and for some reason the shower kicked on for a little while, and then there was like
I had the bidet.
I knew it.
I want to be fresh.
That's disgusting. Just utterly disgusting.
More disgusting, not the bidet. Just saying.
I'm not going to get into this. I'm not going to get into this.
This is a running conversation Nick and I have.
It's true. So he comes out of the bathroom and proceeds to tell me, I broke the toilet.
He's just mad that the last time I came over and we did the podcast at his house, I had to use the facilities, and then I perched in his sink like a gargoyle.
We weren't going to tell anybody about that because my wife is going to be furious at you when she finds this out.
Oh.
Anyway.
Moving on.
He comes out of the bathroom and proceeds to tell me that he broke the toilet. So now, at this point, he's like, what do I do? And I tell him, you're going to call maintenance, and you're going to tell them that you broke the toilet.
It was a two-man job to fix it.
Yeah. They literally called two guys. The first guy got there and needed assistance, so they had to call in.
Called him back up.
He had to call him back up. You caused a 2-alarm emergency on the toilet.
Did. They thanked me, though, because they said when that has happened in the past, it's usually put water out into the hallway because it runs so fast.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, they were actually grateful we called quickly and it hadn't backed up.
Yeah, because, I mean, I don't want poo water going everywhere.
I don't want to be in the room underneath the poo water going everywhere.
But anyway, we stayed at the Intercontinental at the Plaza.
Great hotel.
In Kansas City. It was a fantastic hotel, and it was conveniently directly across the street from Diebel's Sportsman's Gallery.
By the way, I love Diebel's.
Yeah, it was great. Yep. And that was the store that hosted the Kansas City Cigar Festival. So Friday night, the event was, so let me back up. We bought VIP tickets, mostly because it just got us like twice as many cigars. But
Kansas City Cigar Festival.
It was great. And we ended up going to the event on Friday night. And what it was a barbecue dinner, and they had like cigar reps and everything like at the shop. And it was just kind of a like little VIP meet and greet kind of thing at on Friday night. So Jeff and I got there, and it was good.
Barbecue was great.
Barbecue was fantastic. The pulled pork and the coleslaw were just divine.
See, and I was a fan of the brisket and the potato salad. I will say it was hard to find a place to eat because it was crowded.
It was very crowded, and so because of that, we ended up in the little lounge portion of the place to eat. And my only criticism is that because we were in the lounge, it was rather smoky, and as you would expect the lounge would be. So I'm not going to criticize the fact that guys were in there smoking because it's what the point of the room is. But because they're in there smoking and there's so many of them, it was difficult to find an appetite to eat. Now, granted, that didn't stop either one of us
had
from
2 plates,
eating 2 plates. I mean, well, in all fairness, what happened was we tried everything on the first plate and then went back for
small portions, and then what we
went
wanted.
back for the stuff that we really liked in the second. So, like my plate on the second go round was coleslaw and pulled pork.
Now there were seats outside, but those were mainly taken up when we came in, and actually, I think those were cooler sitting outside than it was on the inside just because of the amount of people.
Exactly.
But again, no criticism. It was a good turnout to the event.
It was a great turnout. So while we were there, we double-checked in the humidor to see if there was anything that wasn't included in our little VIP bags.
That humidor, by the way, folks, if you go to Kansas City, you have got to check out the humidor at the cigar store.
Bigger than, like, my college apartment, I'll say that.
I mean, honestly, it could be a really nice, like, 1-bedroom, maybe even 2-bedroom apartment. It is huge.
It's gigantic. And they had a really nice selection of cigars, some stuff that we don't necessarily see in St. Louis, which was great because
I found that odd that there was such a difference in the stock from one side of Missouri to the other.
I don't know what to say about that other than the fact that, maybe they just have customers that have requested different things over the years, and so it just kind of creates a different environment.
I found a lot of cigars, a lot of sticks that I'm not used to seeing here. And again, no criticism of St. Louis or Kansas City, but it was a much more diverse line of cigars than I'm used to here. They also didn't have some of the cigars that I'm used to seeing here. So I just found that very odd that, within that small proximity of a distance, just I-70 from one end of it to the other in Missouri, that you were looking at I would say 2/3 of the humidor was different than you'd find in St. Louis.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yep.
I mean, and they had some things that I'm familiar with. Maybe they didn't have the sizes. That was one thing I will say. I mean, some of the size, they didn't have the full range of sizes for every type of cigar, but I guess that also comes down to buyer's preference and everything. Maybe the guy who's buying for the store just prefers Churchill's, for example, or something
again,
like that.
they're stocking for their clientele.
Exactly.
And like I said, it was noticeable the difference in the stock in their humidor compared to ours.
Yeah.
And I'd mentioned this before to Nick. I don't remember if I talked about this on the podcast, but I recently went to the Cigar Barn down in Paducah, Kentucky, and I ran into the same thing there, that they had a different stock in Paducah, Kentucky, which is really, as the crow flies, not that far from St. Louis.
It's about, 3 hours?
Yeah, about that.
Give or take.
I guess basically what you're looking at is, these different regions, these different stores, they all have something different to offer. So, if you're traveling somewhere, take advantage of the stores that are there because you're going to find stock that you're not used to seeing at your home store.
I just got a message earlier today from a guy who was talking about how he can't find the Henry Clay Warhawk to save his life where he's at. And you and I are tripping over them at various stores around here. So
can't swing a dead cat without
not at all. So, I mean, we're talking about what we can do to maybe do some sort of a trade or something like that.
I'm going to get letters from the, pet associations now.
What? Oh, because you
talked
about swinging dead cats. Why?
No animals were harmed in the taping of, the Bishop and Gator.
That's true. Anyway, so that was Friday. Well, then we went back to the hotel and smoked on the balcony because that was the nice thing about our hotel room. We had a balcony with 2 chairs and a table, and the bellhop told us as long as we shut the door and don't let the smoke inside, we're good to go. So that was nice. We had that going for us.
That was an added bonus I don't think either one of us knew was coming.
Not in the least. We went back, and then we went to the casino where Jeff proceeded to lose his ass.
I should have just driven by in the Uber and thrown my money at them.
Yeah, that would have been a much.
Nick, on the other hand, up 100.
I did. I made the money back that I had spent at the store earlier that night. So at this point in the trip, I was pretty much even for the trip.
Yeah, I was down.
But anyway, so then Saturday morning was the event, and when we got there, we were able to score a few minutes with Kurt Diebel. He's the owner of Diebel's Sportsman's Gallery, and he gave us a short little interview. You're not going to hear me in any of these interviews in this episode because we pretty much just kind of had the little mic and we just gave it to the guy and, whoever we're talking to and kind of asked him some questions and all that. But he was very nice and gave us a few minutes to kind of talk about the event, the history of the event, and all that sort of thing, and how it's built up. This was the 7th annual Kansas City Cigar Fest.
And if I can say, Nick, the event, and I think you'll concur with this, it was class top to bottom.
It really was. I mean, there was about 400 people. It was on the rooftop of the building, which I guess had like a parking garage built into it. And so, like, if you think it's the rooftop, it's not a roof. It was like the upper level of the parking garage. So, they had the tents, outdoor tents. So everything was tented. So you weren't being assaulted by the sun.
3 tents full of people, not crowded, just an outstanding time.
Lots of food, lots of booze, lots of cigars.
Lots of great people we met, which we'll get into later.
I was say we'll get into that in a minute. But first, before we get into the interview, we need to talk about the cigar that we were smoking in this episode.
We actually had intended on not smoking a cigar for this episode, full disclosure. We were going to tape this episode driving back from Kansas City yesterday when our thoughts were fresh. Everything was clear. We hadn't forgotten anything. And we taped the first segment, and then we tried to listen to it.
We're going to call it the 24-minute lost tape because it sounded like garbage. So.
Yeah, we would have gotten better reception if we were beaming it back from the moon.
It's true.
Yeah, one small step and all that.
Tin cans with a string kind of thing.
It might as well have been. I have no idea what the audio problem was with those mics we were using, but they worked great at the event, but
thankfully,
not so much in the car.
Yeah, so we are going to cut our cigar. Now, what we are cutting
brought to you by
whoever wants to sponsor it. So this week we are smoking the Crowned Heads La Careme Robusto 5x50 box press. And this cigar we got at a great deal from our new friend at Crowned Heads, the Midwest sales rep, Dave Payne.
Dave was a great guy.
Dave was a very great guy, very outgoing.
If you look at the socials, he's actually sporting a Cigar Pulpit sticker on his travel case.
Exactly. He's a big proponent of the show in the short period of time that we met him. And he looked up some episodes and noticed that we hadn't had a Crowned Heads yet. And he pulled us aside and he's like, all right, guys, you guys got to smoke this thing. And
yep,
we're like,
he did.
Well, okay, so we got a hell of a deal.
And
here we are, and we're going to go ahead and smoke this thing, Dave. So thanks
Dave,
for
this one's for you, buddy.
This one's for you, turning it on and whatnot. So we're going to give this guy a cut. Now, in all fairness, as people learned in a previous episode, I'm typically not much of a box press guy.
I am.
So, Dave, right off the bat, you got that going against you with me, but I'm willing to give this a shot. I mean, I've had the Encore by Carrillo and a handful of others that, have been really good. So
try the colder on this thing.
Okay.
What are you picking up?
Well, kind of
I'm getting something. It's almost spicy.
Not
that's what I'm getting.
Spicy. I don't know. So let me give you guys the background on this cigar. It is a Nicaraguan filler, surrounded by an Ecuador Sumatra binder. And then the wrapper is U.S. Connecticut broadleaf, and it is a very dark Maduro color.
What is that flavor?
I don't know.
You know what? It's really good.
Like kind of a dark chocolatey kind of thing.
Maybe
going
that's
on?
it.
Maybe.
I can't put my finger on it. That's really good. It's almost sweet.
It is the Le Careme.
Oh, okay, fair enough. You know what? I think that's it. I think it's like a dark chocolate. It's almost a sweet spice flavor.
It's all in your head there, Jeff. That's amazing.
No. This smells great.
So, all right. So, we're going to
go.
give this thing a light. We're going to get this thing going. Smoke has a good smell. Do you need my torch over there?
No, but it is a good thing they gave us some at the event because I just ran out of butane.
Yeah.
Some butane came with our care package. Backup lighter.
Yeah, so before we get into the interview, as a VIP, we got a gift bag. So it's a tote, little kind of athletic duffel bag kind of thing. Within the bag, we had a belt that, I mean, more power.
Cute.
It was cute. More power to him. It's not my style, but who knows? Maybe
But it had the cigar logos, Qdoba and whatnot on it. So
Qdoba.
I'm hungry.
I don't think. Oh, okay. So
Let's redo that.
No, I think that's funny.
I think we should redo that.
No, I think we're gonna leave that be. It had the belt in the bag. It had some
Qdoba.
It had some
made my day.
little post-shave balm kind of stuff or whatever going on.
Well, because the store is more of an in general men's store.
Yes,
with a ginormous humidor.
It is. It's got some tchotchkes for offices. It's got clocks and whatnot.
The guy is into socks too. Did you catch that?
There were a lot of socks.
A lot of socks. Guy likes socks.
Shaving kits, old style shaving kits, and things like that. So it is. It's more than just cigars. It's just an in general
a cool
store.
Yeah.
So the belt, the shaving stuff, and then a can of butane from Zycar, which was greatly appreciated. And then in the normal bag, there were 20 cigars. In the VIP bag, there were 40 cigars. And that's why I went ahead and spent the extra money and got the VIP because, well, I wanted 40 cigars. And so...
And therefore, I had to get 40 cigars.
Well, yeah, all right.
But I'm not turning down 40 sticks. And we're going to use those, the ones that we haven't smoked already, as episode cigars because now we have 2 of each. So this is perfect.
It does. It works out really well. So... And there's some really good stuff in those bags.
There is.
So, anyway.
Man, this is good.
It is good. I'm getting the chocolate, man.
You're getting past the box press. This is a good cigar.
I mean, it's a box press, but it is a good cigar.
Flavor-wise, the box press.
I'm not the only one. I've had people message me and say that they're just not a fan of the box press.
They're wrong, you savages.
And it's awkward to turn in your mouth and everything else. But, hey, you know what? I'm okay. I'm an adult. I can move on. But...
Man, that's a good flavor. Mm-hmm. It really is.
No, it really is. And it's kicking out of.
It's like smoking a Dove chocolate bar.
It's kicking. It's not milk chocolate.
They make dark chocolate.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's kicking out a lot of smoke, too. It's really
Which
good.
Nick is a big fan of. Nick likes
smooth.
the smoke.
Oh, yeah. I like for my cigar to be just
obnoxiously smoky?
Oh, just kicking out tons of smoke. I love it. Like, that's why I don't know if anybody smoked the Fat Bottom Betty, but that thing is just a smokehouse. I love it so much. But let's move on. We're going to go ahead and do the interview now with Kurt Diebel. And when we come back, we'll kind of give our thoughts about the event.
So this is Kurt Diebel. I'm the president of Diebel Sportsman's Gallery. We hosted the Kansas City Cigar Festival today, which is our 7th annual. We've grown every year. My customers come, they have a blast. We have 20 different vendors. We've got VIP tickets, we've got general admission tickets, as well as guest tickets, which include lunch, beer tickets. You get all sorts of tastings from liquor tables, craft beer tables. So there's a lot going on at our festival. We have tented, we're on the outside above our store, so the opportunity to shop and save on a lot of different tables. Just to run down a list of a lot of the people that were here. Altadas, General Cigar, EPC, my father, Ventura Cigars, Ashton, La Flor Dominicana, Drew Estates, Crowned Heads, Oliva, who else? Rocky Patel, Perdomo was here. We have 19 different cigar vendors. So it's the cream of the crop. You know, the event business kind of took off in the festival sense, a multi-vendor festival sense about 10 years or so ago. I knew it was going to be quite an undertaking, so I was reticent to start it on my own. And there was a lady that worked with Scott Bond at Zycar that came to him, and she had on her own had an idea of trying to create. She was an event person. She had her own idea to create a cigar event. So he took her to me. He brought her to me and introduced her to me. So then I had now somebody that would work the event on an event side, and I could work it on the cigar side, so it wasn't quite as overwhelming as I thought it was going to be. And so it just grew from that, and it's just gotten, like I said, bigger and bigger and better and better. Yeah.
We really want to thank Kurt Diebel for taking time out of his obviously very busy day running the festival to just give us a few minutes to give us his thoughts and
he is like the nicest guy I've ever met.
He really is, because for the fact, I mean, we caught him fairly late in the event.
Oh, he should have told us just.
By that point, he should have been just frayed, and he was smiling and profiling, having a great time. I mean,
he was beaming. Well, his event, I mean, I'm sure something behind the scenes, just like a wedding. When you put an event like this together, there's always something that goes wrong. But he was beaming, and he should have been. This thing went off swimmingly.
Mm-hmm. So he had a number of breweries, wineries, and distilleries there promoting their beers, wines, and liquor. And that was a really popular area. That was the first thing you encountered when you walked in. So you checked in at the front tables at the event, and then
the first entire giant
tent was nothing but booze and the raffle baskets. There were 6 or 7 raffle baskets with just amazing prizes in them, and you got so many raffle tickets free with your ticket. Like Jeff and I got 6. I think the regular purchase or regular ticket purchasers got 2, and then you could buy additional tickets for $1 a piece, and all the money for that stuff went to Big Brothers Big Sisters. That was the charity this year.
And when Nick pointed that out to me, I made reference to the movie Role Models that he's never seen.
And he found out I hadn't seen it, and so now he's on me about seeing that. So
it's just disappointing.
I'm sorry.
It's such a good movie. But anyway, I'll leave that. We'll let him watch that, and then we'll discuss it on a future podcast.
We then moved into the second tent, which was all of the cigar manufacturers and various other products. And so you had all these different cigar manufacturers. You had Zycar. Tommy Bahama was there with some clothing. There was a company there selling hats, very similar to ones that like Carlos Fuente wears, those kind of hats. And so you got to check out all these different cigars. And I mean, guys, you name a company, and I'm pretty sure they were there. Yeah. I mean, there are very few that I can think of off the top of my head that weren't represented.
Actually, I can't think of one. I can't think of a big name company that wasn't there.
Not a big name company. There's probably some little guys that weren't represented, but for the most part, most companies were represented.
This thing was done right.
And let me tell you, folks, the deals were everywhere. People were buying cigars by the box load. These reps were giving out hats, and they were giving out ashtrays, and they were giving out everything you can imagine.
One of the tables, and it was actually I think it was Bullet Bourbon, had a table set up, and they were actually playing cornhole. And as Nick knows, I love cornhole, so I took a few shots with the bag, if you know what I mean. And I did not win, but we actually sat with some folks that ended up winning a T-shirt from it. They had all kinds of really neat things going on like that. And, some of the tables had their own door prizes you signed up for. I mean, it was just, nobody left this thing disappointed.
No, there was stuff everywhere. So then you leave the cigar portion, you go up a little ramp to the upper portion of the parking garage, and that's where all the food was located. So there were 3 food vendors. You had Gus's Fried Chicken. You had
my God, is that good?
I would say you went for the fried chicken. There was a Mexican restaurant, and then there was a place that was grilling up burgers. And I ended up doing the burger, but I'll tell you, that food area was full the whole time.
Yep.
And people were eating, and nobody was unsatisfied.
No, best I could tell, they were still serving food with 15 minutes to go. They hadn't ran out. And like you said, everybody was satisfied. And I'm here to tell you, dude, you missed out on that chicken.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, was that chicken good. And I'm not the only one that told you that either.
No, it's true. Other people mentioned the chicken.
If you're in Kansas City and you get a chance to go to Gus's Fried Chicken. So, I'm saying.
We met a handful of people. Obviously, we met a guy named Mike. Mike was from... he either currently is living there or at least from. It was kind of hard to determine.
I think from Springfield.
Yeah. We think he's from Springfield, Illinois. I think he's currently living in Kansas City now. But, we got talking to him because, the Illinois tie, and he was familiar with a lot of the places that we run around. And he was great. And I'll tell you what he pointed out that I thought was very astute was he pointed out that you're looking at an event with probably 300 or 400 people, and there was nobody with their phone out, just texting and playing on their phone. Everybody,
other than me taking pictures for the podcast.
You were taking pictures and all that. But for the most part, it was people sitting and talking face to face, interacting, having a social time, meeting people for the first time, meeting friends at the event that maybe they either see all the time, maybe they only see them once a year at this event, that sort of thing. People were being actually social with one another.
They were.
Instead of just playing on their phones the whole time. And it was great.
Which, and Nick and I have talked about this in the past, but that's one of the things that I like about cigars and about cigar smoking and going to the lounges, because you meet such a diverse group of people. But I really do contend that cigar smoking is the great equalizer.
I would think so.
We've met so many people at our home store over at the Hill in St. Louis, from judges to police officers, guys that used to work at McDonnell Douglas, and
priests
and
absolutely, pastors and whatnot. I mean, religious figure. I mean, there's all sorts of people coming in over there.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you just sit and you listen and you're learning stuff about people. It's something our society is grossly missing now.
So there was that observation. The other observation is that, for the most part, everybody seemed really chill and happy. I didn't encounter anybody that had a bad attitude, that was like being snobby or pushy or anything. I mean, everybody was in a great mood.
Exactly. And even when people realized that I was digging through the trash like a hobo, taking every cigar band I could get.
Let's talk about that for a minute. So Jeff...
I'm not proud, folks.
Jeff was going literally table to table, ashtray to ashtray, picking through used cigars to get the bands, because Jeff does artwork with the bands.
I do.
Or at least he did artwork one time and then has threatened to do it multiple other times.
Did you ever post a picture of that?
Yeah, there's like the third picture I put up on the Instagram. So if you dig back all the way to the very beginning of the Cigar Pulpit's Instagram, you'll see a picture of
it. It was Nick's Christmas gift.
And so he does these little murals, if you will, with the bands. And so what he was doing was he was digging through all the ashtrays
it was
and
bands
the garbage.
I don't have, because it's a different set of bands from a different set of companies.
It's true.
Yep.
And it was good. I mean, you got a bunch of bands.
I got a buttload of bands.
You got a ton of bands, and that was really good.
Once people realized I was looking for them, there were guys sitting at the tables that were collecting them for me and saving them.
That's great.
Yeah.
See?
I really did dig through the trash like a hobo,
there
folks.
we're going. We're going back to that little cigar community. These guys knew you were doing something, and they helped you out with it.
They did.
And the staff, as they were going around emptying out the ashtrays, the staff started collecting them for you and everything too. So,
and when you guys see, if I ever get the art project done, and I'm not going to say what it is right now because I don't want somebody to steal the idea, but once I get the art project done, we will get it out there for you to see. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I'm really looking forward to this if I don't jank it up.
I think it'll work out really well, but just get on it, Jeff.
It'll take me a year. You know me.
I know you. So
anyway, I think we should go into some interviews.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So we interviewed a number of cigar reps and company reps relatively close to the end of the event. We didn't want to bother them while it was busy and while they were working, because, I mean, these guys, they were working. They were selling cigars. So we didn't want to bother them at that point. So we went around right about 3 o'clock when everything was winding down. So unfortunately, because we went around at like 3 o'clock, we did miss a number of reps, and so
a few.
There
were some people that hung around specifically to wait for us to come over.
There were, and there were also a handful of reps that just due to company, rules, could not speak with the quote unquote media. I don't know if we want to call ourselves media in that regard, but
we're media, baby.
Well, all right. So anyway, they could not speak to the media without prior authorization. So these, company reps. At least one of them I know really wanted to speak with us, but we totally understand why you
completely.
Couldn't. And, no disrespect, and we're not going to hold it against your brand or anything like that. So,
although, why wouldn't someone avail themselves of the free publicity here?
Well,
and I get it. I get there are restrictions.
There are restrictions, and, when you start getting into, like, very large companies, they have to control their messaging, and they want to make sure that their rep. Now, the one thing I will agree with you on, if you're going to hire somebody to go out and be your sales rep promoting your brand, wouldn't you entrust them to be able to speak about your brand to anybody that they wanted to speak to about the brand?
That's a valid point.
And do so intelligently, and that, in my opinion, would include the media. But you know what?
But I get it.
But I get it. So
Now, before we do the interview, I do want to say one thing real quick.
yeah,
This cigar is phenomenal.
it is. It's really good.
And how do you pronounce it again?
This, you jerk. We had to look it up beforehand because
Just to make sure.
just to make sure it's the Crowned Heads La Careme.
La Careme. This Crowned Head cigar is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it is smooth.
And thanks to Dave for the recommendation. because-
Absolutely. He told us which one to get. He gave us a great deal on it. Can't say enough good stuff. Cannot say enough good stuff. But yeah, this is a great cigar. And honestly, it seemed like every cigar that we either got in our pack or purchased from this thing that I've had so far, phenomenal.
was great. We're going to go ahead, move into the interviews. So we're going to start off with a couple of them. We'll come back, and then we'll do a few more because I don't want to just load you guys up with essentially commercial after commercial. So
Although these are not paid endorsements.
these are not paid endorsements, and, we asked these guys, give us some thoughts about the event and everything. So they're not just talking about their cigars. They're talking about the event and everything.
We'll have
else.
2, 3, 4 of them, and then we'll come back and talk for a little bit, and then do a few more.
Yeah, so here are some of the vendors from the Kansas City Cigar Festival.
Hey, this is Rusty McCauley with General Cigar. We got Macanudo, Partagas, Punch, Cohiba, La Gloria Cubana, Diesel, CAO, if I didn't say that one. The Kansas City Cigar Festival was an absolute blast again this year, as always. Great turnout, great cigar enthusiasts. Always love to see a lot of people get together just to enjoy a good cigar. So come see us next year.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm Jason Polar, the My Father Cigar Rep for the Kansas City area. Here at the Kansas City Cigar Festival 2019. What a great time we had here. A lot of success, a lot of fans of My Father Cigars here, and I can understand why. The cigars are fantastic. The company is not an old one, kind of relatively new one, but has done remarkable things in a short span of time. They are 100% vertically integrated. They put 100% of their fillers and binders are coming from their farms, and 50% of the wrapper leaf. They're also the only company in the industry that does double binders on every one of their cigars, the Cuban style. That's what Donald Payne came here doing, and he's still doing it to this day. Wonderful price points on our cigars. Several number ones in the last few years in Cigar Aficionado, Cigar Journal, Cigar Snob. Currently number 2 in Cigar Aficionado right now. I think because they gave us too many number ones already. But it's been a fantastic day. Met a lot of fans, made a few new friends. What a wonderful day. We were blessed with the best weather, I think, we could have. So if you haven't tried a My Father Cigars, I strongly suggest you come on down to Kurt Diebel's store in the plaza or the second store that's on the south side of town. Pick yourself up some My Father cigars. Try them out for yourself. And then next time you see me, let me know what you think. By the way, let me say thank you very, very much to the Cigar Pulpit. I hear you guys have a great show. I'm going to have to check it out. But I did recently hear about the review you guys did at La Promesa. Thank you very much. I hear you guys really like the cigar. I'm very pleased with that. I'm looking forward to sharing that with the family. If you haven't tried La Promesa, please do. It's a medium plus to medium full cigar. I think you guys would agree with that. Nice smoother body, a wonderful flavor profile, and it's kind of unique in the lineup of the My Father cigars. But I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you very much, and check them out.
All right, y'all. This is Ryan Rayford, otherwise known as All the Smoke from Drew Estate Cigars, representing the North Texas region. Came out here to the Diebels, man. It's a great event. 300-400 people. We had a lot of specials going on today. Celebrating the 20th anniversary of Acid. The Acid 20 sold very well. A lot of people are enjoying it. We had some TAA exclusives, Hoya de Nicaragua. We had the Big Bang Acid out here. So, of course, for the Liga heads, we had plenty to choose from. So, I enjoyed myself, man. KC has some good barbecue. Yeah. I don't know if it's beating Texas barbecue, but it's pretty good. Shout out to Cigar Pulpit for having us up here too.
Well, that was the first round of interviews, and before we get into the second, we'll talk a little bit more about the event. So we met a couple of other interesting people at the event. We met a guy named Jay and his wife, who they are YouTubers, and he does shows about transporting cars, which I guess is the industry he used to work in before he got into the YouTubing game. And he was giving us a lot of helpful advice and kind of thoughts about where we could theoretically take the Cigar Pulpit if we wanted to and everything. And
There's actually a picture of him
There is.
up on our socials.
He and his wife are pictured in the little collage of pictures that I put up on the Instagram.
She was having her first cigar.
She was having her first cigar, and she enjoyed it too. They're normally wine people,
Yep.
But he had some cigars, and so they came out to this, and they were having a great time. And then there was Bill. We met Bill.
She bought that for him as a birthday present.
Oh, is that how
Yep.
they got there?
I thought that was very, very nice of her.
That is nice of her. So then there was Bill. Bill was also a guest at the event. He's also pictured in that same little collage. You'll see him talking to Jeff about the cigar pick that he had on the table.
That thing might as well have been bait for us to draw us in because it worked.
He said it drew a lot of people in.
Yeah.
It was a 50 caliber shell that a friend of his had retrofitted to add a cigar pick onto so that he could stick the butt of his cigar onto it and get a little bit more life out of the butt of the cigar. And
we've seen those before at the Hill in various places.
And he had actually pointed this out, and I hadn't considered it before. He said, when you normally see a cigar pick, it always looks like a lady's hat pin. And he said it's usually decorated like that and whatever. He said also, you can't stand it up on the table. You got to constantly hold the thing. And he said, what I love about this is the weight of the shell will act, it's heavy enough and it's balanced enough that he can just prop it up on the table and just let it sit for a minute while he's not smoking on it. And he said, and let's be real, what's more, manly than having a 50 cal shell sitting there?
Nothing.
And he said that he's gotten lots of comments about it, but
maybe a 20 millimeter shell.
But his friend,
then you're just getting absurd.
Exactly, it's just getting nuts. But his
obnoxious, as it were,
friend of a friend apparently only made like 5 of them, and
he needs to go into business. He needs to stop whatever he's doing right now and
start making
those.
He said that it was one of those things that he'd like to make more, but it's just I guess a time thing or whatever. But
I can't imagine one guy that either hunts or has had military experience that smokes cigars. And let's be honest, that's a lot of the guys smoking cigars that would not want one of those things.
I can't imagine even if a guy doesn't hunt and doesn't have military experience, he wouldn't want one of those things, because I'm not a hunter and I don't have military experience, and I want one in the worst possible way.
It was very cool.
It was really neat. So yeah, it was really great talking to Bill about his cigar pick with the stand there.
And, and that's what it was like to just walk around and talk to all these guys. We met so many interesting people at this thing. As you will, it was almost like speed dating for a cigar lounge.
Kind of.
Essentially, because it was like going to 100 cigar lounges in one day.
And I'd say a lot of these guys were locals. I'd say a lot of them primarily were probably customers of the store and were locals. But, there were the occasional.
We weren't the only folks that drove in for this.
No, there were other people that came in. So, that was great. And as we were going around to the various tables, we actually got an invite to another cigar fest.
We did.
We were talking with Corey. And
I love Corey.
Corey's a great guy. He's actually a broker for a number of different brands, including, Oscar and Casada and a number of other cigars. But he has.
We've gotten to know him in St. Louis, and he was a familiar face that we saw at this event, and could not have been happier to see him there.
Yeah, and so he invited us to the Weston Tobacco Fest, which is being held at his family store, Weston Tobacco.
September 28th?
September 28th in Kansas, Weston, Missouri.
If you're
so it's
close,
about half an hour north of Kansas City.
They're running out of tickets, so if you're close, get a ticket for this thing, because it looks to be great.
Tickets are selling fast, and he invited us up, told us that if we wanted to come on up, he'd hook us up with a table, and we could even record an episode of the podcast up there and do our whole bit and promote the show. And Corey, go ahead and take this as the official word that we are going to be there. We're trying to figure out the logistics of it, because we do have some commitments here locally that we got to kind of figure out how we're going to make this work. It may be one of those things where we come up maybe around like 1 or 2 in the afternoon because this event does go from like 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. So, I mean, it's an all-day affair. But it might be one of those things where we come up somewhere around 1 or 2 in the afternoon and be there
through
the end, and then maybe we'll crash in the area that night and head back Sunday. But, if we can make it up, Friday night, crash there and be there for the whole event, we'll certainly try. It's just a matter of some prior commitments and everything. But, yeah, we're definitely going to be there for some of it. It's just a matter of if we're going to be there for all of it or not. But
So what that means, folks, you get a ticket to the event, you get to come out and
hang with Nick and Gator.
That may run some people off, actually, now that I think about it.
It might be. Yeah, we may not be there. Anyway.
Come anyway.
Come anyway. Tell you what, folks, you come on out. I'll put a sign up. $5 a shot. You can kick Gator in the nuts.
Do I get to keep the $5?
I mean, it's split evenly because I'm your promoter in that case. It's a team effort here, Jeff.
I'm not doing less than 70-30.
It's a team effort here, buddy.
I get 70% or I'm not taking the kicks.
Tell you what, 70% if we exceed $2,000 worth of gross receipts.
That's a lot of kicking. That just sounds horrific.
Otherwise, it's 50-50.
Yeah, maybe just come see us. Forget the $5.
We'll have.
I still like my nuts.
We'll have stickers.
I mean, I'm 50, but I still like them.
We'll have stickers, swag stickers, and we'll just kind of hang out, and maybe if we'll get a third mic going here, and we can get some folks on the episode with us. And just
Oscar's going to be there again.
I would say Oscar will be there. There were a couple others I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah. But I mean, there's some actual guests that are gonna be at this thing. So
Oscar's a great guy. We've got to meet him before.
We'll get some interviews going.
So before we go back to some of the tables here, this cigar, I'm really impressed by it.
I am too.
Not a cigar I would have picked up. Again, it's got a dark wrapper. I mean, it's almost a chocolate
but it's
wrapper.
Not oppressive.
No, it's not at all.
Yeah.
And again, I'm a box press guy, and I like that with my father's.
I'm
and
not.
Tell me if I pronounce this wrong. La Careme.
I believe that's correct.
Okay. And who's the manufacturer again?
Crowned Heads. Jeff can't remember because it's not on the band.
It isn't. It's driving me nuts. But this Crowned Head cigar is phenomenal. And again, thanks to Dave for giving us a great deal on it.
Turning us on to it. So
moving right along,
we're going to go ahead. We'll play a few more interviews from the Kansas City Cigar Festival.
Okay, hey everybody, my name's Dave Bullock. I'm with Rocky Patel. I'm the Vice President of Sales. Enjoying a beautiful day in Kansas City at the Kansas City Cigar Fest. This is my second festival that I've had the opportunity to come up to. It's been great. Over 500 people, lots of fun, cigars, beers, food, mixed drinks, whatever you want. Cigar enthusiasts is all over the place. We introduced our new LB1 today from Honduras. It's a medium to full-bodied cigar. It's got a Habano wrapper. Each box is signed by the cigar maker down in our factory in Dan Lee, Honduras. It went over quite well. We sold out of almost all our product here. The deals are outrageous. Just a great time for a cigar lover to enjoy, get a great deal, and take the cigars home with them. So hopefully I'll see everybody here next year. And we at Rocky Patel appreciate everybody for coming and their support. Thank you very much.
Hey, it's Mike with Quality Importers, here representing Zycar today with Cutters and Lighters. We also have Paleo, Humidor Supreme. We've got stinky ashtrays, just everything you could need for cutter and lighters, or anything you need for cigar accessories, we've got you covered. Had a great day today at Kansas City Cigar Festival with Diebels. Big thanks to them for having us, and if you haven't made it out to one of these, you definitely need to come see us next year.
Hello, this is Michael Henderson from EP Carrillo Cigar Company. Just enjoying and wrapping up my first Kansas City experience, and let me tell you, the festival was outstanding, well attended. What struck me was the level of knowledge. You got a lot of repeat customers, which is unusual. People that come up and tell you stories about meeting Ernesto Perez Carrillo, our founder, a couple years ago. They know the history of the brands and got great stories to share, and just avid fans. And the day was outstanding, well attended, never slowed down. It was a good opportunity to also introduce fans to our number one cigar, the Encore Majestic. We had a lot of people that experienced our number two cigar of the year, La Historia. And it was just an outstanding day overall. I'm looking forward to next year. The day flew by, and I'm a Kansas City fan, and I'm from Philadelphia.
Lance Lewis with LFD Cigars. So we're here at KC Cigar Fest with Diebels here in KC, Missouri. I just want to say I appreciate everybody who came out to this weekend. A couple of cigars that we featured were our TA Maduro, Mexican San Andres Maduro with the new Criollo 99 binder. Smoking with a little bit of spice, some earth tones to it, a little bit of sweetness. Medium plus the full body. We're really proud of this cigar. It's in about 60 to 70 retailers this year, so it's going really great. And then another cigar that's going really well for us is the Andalusian Bull. Number one cigar of 2016. We're very proud of it, and also it's just a great smoke. Medium plus the full. You can enjoy some nice sweet notes out of it, as well as cedar and cream. We're very proud of those, and we're just very proud of what's happening here in Kansas City. Diebels is a very proud partner of ours, and they've treated us very well over the last 15, 20 years. And this is one of those events where you come out, you have a great time, you meet great people, you drink good, you smoke good, and it's just, one of those parties where you can't miss it. So if you didn't get here this year for 2019, 2020, come by the LFD booth, and we'll take care of you. And we're going to have some new things for you too. So it's going to be a great year. Thank you, guys.
Well, folks, that's the Kansas City Cigar Fest. So then after the festival was over, like I said, we went around, we got a bunch of interviews with folks, kind of caught them for a brief moment while they were packing up. We did miss a couple of guys that we had talked to, and they had agreed to do interviews. But I think for the most part, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, guys that actually agreed to do it. The only one that's coming to mind that I think we missed is Perdomo Joe.
Yeah.
is the sales rep that I met there that was really nice and a great spokesman for his brand.
I took a picture of myself smoking, or actually my cigar, in front of the Perdomo booth. I think it's up on the socials.
Yeah, but for the most part, we caught most of the people that agreed that they would do the interview. From there, Jeff and I hobbled our way back to the hotel room.
Well, and I'm going to say this before we get back to that.
Okay.
Kurt, I can't say enough good things about Kurt at Diebels.
Yeah, because, well, again, he did his interview with us. It was at the end of the event. I think we caught him probably last, if not second to last.
Yep.
In the sequence of people we interviewed.
If you look at the pictures on our social media, we're actually getting photobombed.
Yeah, we're getting photobombed by a couple of guys.
And we did not know that until we got back and started loading the pictures, and I lost my crap when I saw it. It was phenomenal. And guys, we love to get to interview you, and the picture photo bomb just made my day. It really did. I'm a photographer by trade, so I thought that was great. And I took the picture and did not see them doing it.
Didn't even notice.
And I'm glad I didn't. It was a great surprise.
Yeah, we were sitting in the hotel room, and he pointed out, he's like, oh, we're getting photobombed. So shout out to Ryan Rayford of Drew Estate Cigars and Lance Lewis of La Flor Dominicana for adding a nice bit of humor to our picture there with Kurt Diebel.
And the beauty of that was how the whole day's event went.
Yeah,
it was
just
light,
a fun,
fun
environment.
It was a great time.
Just a great time all the way around.
I want to go back to this event again, and it's a year away.
Oh,
I mean, I enjoyed it that much.
Happening. It's happening. I think it's safe to say we can add the Kansas City Cigar Festival to our annual calendar.
Oh, absolutely.
I think this has to happen.
Yep.
So anyway, so after we left the event, now mind you, we can see the event from our hotel room balcony, all right?
Literally.
The way this worked is our hotel, there was a street, a canal, a street, and then Diebels, okay? So we had to walk, not far at all.
Nick needed a Sherpa and an oxygen tank.
Oh, dear God.
Anyway.
Nick needed?
Jeff was fine. I fell down the stairs.
No, we both were in horrible shape by the time going back. I mean, you fell down the stairs because your knee went out. And what was funny is we were joking about your knee going out.
I caught myself on the wall.
And you falling down the stairs. And sure enough, with 2 steps left, what do I come down and around and going down to the next flight, and I hear this stumble and this, and all that, and he goes and hits the wall. And this poor waitress behind him is like, oh, my God, are you all right? And he's like, oh, I'm fine.
Now, in my I was laughing my tail off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I amused myself falling down the stairs. Figure out that one.
So
something's not wired up right.
But
folks.
then, we had this walk back to the hotel, and,
That's when we met Churchill.
It's 3:30. It's kind of heat of the day, and yeah, that's when we met Churchill. They conveniently had a statue of Winston Churchill and his wife there, and we went ahead and took the picture with Churchill.
We climbed on Churchill like a jungle gym to get a picture.
You did. I just stepped around behind him.
I sat in Churchill's lap.
Because the way the Churchill statue was positioned, he was kind of sitting with his head kind of hung forward. And so it was just a little too far for Jeff to reach around and do a selfie from behind. So he pretty much had
Did you just talk about reaching around from behind?
On Churchill. That's not helping the cross-dresser rumor at all.
He is still frowning even more now.
Oh, he's going to... Yeah, no, this
He's going to come back and kick our ass.
This isn't going to be a thing. So anyway, we got the picture with Churchill, crossed the street, and proceeded to sit on the fountain feature in front of our hotel.
Like hobos.
Like hobos for about 20 minutes because...
Where were people watching?
The entrance... Yeah, that's what we'll go with. The entrance of our hotel was around the back side of the building, and in order to get up there, you had to go up what was... it had to have just been Mount Everest. It seemed like the highest hill.
It was maybe
possible.
a 20-degree angle.
At best.
At best.
But it just seemed so big.
It was our Everest.
To us, yeah. We were joking about whether or not maybe a shelter could loan us a St. Bernard with the whiskey cask around its neck for just 20 minutes just to get us up the hill.
Were we going to ride on it?
I don't know.
Was that your plan?
Were we going to pull us or something? I don't know. But anyway, we got around up to the top of the hill and got back in the hotel. And Jeff had this grand idea about trying to take a nap. And I
wanted a nap so bad.
I knew that if we took a nap, it was just going to not going to end well. So I was kind of sorting through the swag, seeing everything I got and whatnot. And we just kind of relaxed.
We grabbed a couple of sticks, went out, sat and had a cigar out on the balcony again.
Debated what to do about dinner. And that's how we ended up at Arthur Bryant's barbecue.
I believe that was it, yes.
Arthur Bryant's barbecue. And
I recommend the turkey.
The Uber ride out was interesting.
It was.
We had a very non-social driver.
Not used to that with Uber.
No, non-social driver. Won't get into any details about the driver. Don't want to speak ill of him or anything, but he was very non-social.
Was not amused by us.
Not amused
in the
by
least.
By you, because I picked up very early that this guy had no sense of humor at all.
I started singing.
Well, the deal is, folks, he's got the radio on when we get in the car. And, sometimes Uber drivers have the radio on, playing a little music. He had the radio on, pretty high. It
was loud.
It was obvious he did not want to talk.
No, he was not a chit-chatter.
So what does Jeff decide? I'm going to talk. And he talked. And he talked.
And sang.
And he sang. And he said every stupid thing you could possibly think he would say. And
the guy just kept turning his
radio
radio up.
Jeff would say something really ignorant. The guy would turn the radio up just a little bit more.
Never acknowledged me talking
to where
at
by
all.
by the time we got to the restaurant, I was actually legitimately concerned because my right ear started bleeding, and I'm just pelted with not just music. He also had the audio instructions from his GPS coming through. So in the middle of a song,
turn
left on blah, blah, blah.
And then he kept ignoring the turns.
Yeah, that was the other thing. He kept ignoring the instructions. And so we were going essentially the long tourist route around Kansas City. We were getting the scenic route, but the problem was we were with the most unsocial guy. So it was just awkward all the way around. Just all the way around.
And you know me, I love awkward.
Jeff thrives on awkward. So we got to the restaurant, and we pile out of the car, and it looked pretty dead. I won't lie. It looked closed.
The security guard.
And no, wait. Let's stop for a moment.
Okay.
So it looked
closed.
It looked closed. And I'm thinking, okay, it's one of these barbecue places where they make so much in the morning, and they just sell and sell and sell until it's out, and then once it's out, boom, they're closed. So we're hopping out, and it's probably, what would you say, about 6:15-ish, 6:30-ish,
yes,
give or take. I'm hopping out. And
it looked a little sketch around it.
And I'm thinking, oh, God, you know what? This place is closed. I don't want this guy to leave if, we're going to...
he was not staying.
No, he wasn't staying at all. So,
he closed out the fare and basically told Nick to get the hell out of the car.
We were done. And so we get out, and I'm like, Jeff, can you check and see if it's closed? And so that's when the security guard flagged you.
Told us, hey, locked up a half hour ago. Sorry, guys.
And I was dejected.
I realized he was joking. Nick almost curled into a ball in the parking lot.
I was like, oh, man. And that's when Jeff started laughing, and that's when I realized that, no, I was just being
The guy winked at me and waved us in.
pranked by two different people. So we went inside, and there was one lady in front of us, and hopefully...
if she could have figured out how to order food...
Yeah.
We'd have gotten out of there
about half an hour earlier because she had no clue what she was doing.
Apparently the first time at a restaurant.
She was slow. She was very, very slow.
She ordered potato salad and then chastised them for giving her the small potato salad.
Yeah,
but she didn't bother to tell them she wanted the large potato salad.
Large potato salad. And so then we had to go through all that. And
it was a thing.
It took forever.
Then she went item by item on her receipt to check them off and make sure she got them while... I mean, literally 30 people lined up behind us in line.
And therein lies the point of the story. So we're in line behind her. And next thing I know, I turn around, and the line is going out the door.
Yep.
I mean, we beat the rush by seconds.
Yes.
It was amazing how quickly that place filled up right behind us. And I've never been so happy that we got there.
Because at first we walk in, and we're thinking, there's only like 2 or 3 tables in here. Is this place that good? No, that's where the locals eat, and you know the food's good.
Exactly. And
I recommend the turkey.
And it was. It was very good. The pulled pork. Jeff didn't care much for the pulled pork because...
my problem with the pulled pork, I'm a dry rub kind of guy when it comes to barbecuing. And I grill a lot, and Nick knows this because he's been over, to the house when I've grilled. And, I have particular ways I like to do my food. Most of it is with a dry rub. And, I like the meat juicy where you don't need sauce with it. And, to each their own. But they pre-sauce the pulled pork. Not my thing.
Yeah. So,
but it wasn't bad. It's not my thing.
I enjoyed it. So
but the turkey, and actually the brisket, I know Nick wasn't as big on the brisket, but the brisket was really good as well.
Here the brisket, parts of the brisket were really good. Brisket, for me, it all comes down to the fat. If the fat just dissolves in your mouth and you don't even realize that it's there, then I feel as though that brisket's done perfectly.
Yeah.
If you have to chew the fat on the brisket, I don't think it was smoked long enough, and it's not tender enough. And I had to chew that fat on that brisket a little bit, and that just nothing turns me off of a piece of meat.
It didn't bother me, but it triggered Nick.
Having to chew that,
but everything triggers Nick.
Well, not everything.
But that turkey was good, and I'll tell you what looked good that we didn't order was the sausage. That sausage looked good.
Damn it!
I know.
I wanted that too.
Opportunity missed.
But the baked beans were some of the best baked beans I've ever had, and the French fries. They must have used the kind of gold or yellow potato that has that inherent sweetness to it.
Yep.
And they made the fries out of that because those fries were fried well. They had a great sweetness kind of flavor to them and everything. It was fantastic. And then, believe it or not, probably one of the best parts of the meal, the bread.
Oh my God.
So they sold...
What do we do with that loaf of bread?
You took it. You have it somewhere.
Ooh, you know what? It may still be in my backpack. I haven't unpacked.
I was going to say, you have it somewhere.
That bread was worth going there for.
They sold it half loaf or loaf. And
of course, the two fatties here bought a loaf.
We bought a loaf because we didn't know how big it was, and it was actually very large.
Yeah.
But, when we first got it, it just looked like basic white bread. And so I'm thinking, oh, God, we're paying $3 or whatever for a loaf of just Wonder Bread.
I'd have paid double.
And that was the densest, most flavorful,
soft,
yeah, basic white bread that I've had in forever. And the only complaint that I had whatsoever is that they didn't have any butter.
Yeah, bring your own butter.
Yeah, bring your own.
Because you need butter with that bread.
That bread as bread and butter
would have been a meal.
Have just been amazing, and they did not have any butter available.
And looked at me like I had two heads when I asked for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was sad.
Evidently. But
I'm bringing a stick with me next time.
It was amazing. So after that, we went back to the hotel and proceeded to fall in the deepest, darkest meat coma you can imagine.
Truth.
And that was pretty much Saturday.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, we just kind of piled in the car and...
Okay. So there was weather back in St. Louis, and Nick and I had talked about where we were going to stop along the way for lunch. We decided to go ahead and eat in KC before we left.
Uh-oh.
Now, this is the problem, because I'm going to dog on a restaurant.
Oh, I was wondering if he was going to get into this or not.
I'm dogging on a restaurant here, folks. So I have never gone to P.F. Chang's.
Now, Mike,
And-
we'll back up for 2 seconds. We were
Okay.
searching local restaurants, and I found a Brazilian steakhouse.
Did we really
Super
want
close.
a 4-hour drive after that? That's the problem.
We had shoved tons and tons of
Copious amounts of meat.
copious amounts of meat into our mouths already for this trip.
Get in my
so
belly.
what would it have mattered if we would have done a Brazilian steakhouse? But
The drive home was bad enough
Yeah.
without eating 3 pounds of meat apiece.
so then we decided to call an audible and go to P.F. Chang's,
Nick,
which was right around the corner.
any chance Nick gets to have Mexican food, he's going to take it. Any chance I get to have Asian food, I'm going to take it. I won the coin toss, essentially.
I acquiesced. I mean,
And I wish I hadn't.
yeah.
I've always wanted to go to P.F. Chang's. There's some in St. Louis. I've seen them other places. I've always wanted to go. I've heard about them before. And I just didn't like it. I hate to admit that. I hate
It was
to
a
say that.
$71 meal that should have been $35 at best.
I would have been happier if we'd gone to Panda Express.
Yeah.
I got Kung Pao chicken. It was dry. It was not real flavorful.
And I
didn't like it.
I got sweet and sour chicken, and instead of them kind of drizzling a sweet and sour sauce over the chicken and the vegetables, it seemed like they tossed it in like a sweet and sour glaze.
They got it near the glaze.
And so what happened was the breading on that chicken was just soggy and gross. And, then the vegetables didn't have enough sweet and sour flavor to them and didn't really even taste like they'd even hit much flame. Like they were my green pepper was fairly raw.
Yeah.
And it was just very disappointing.
It was, so I do not recommend P.F. Chang's in Kansas City.
Yeah, we were disappointed with the P.F. Chang's in Kansas. I mean, our waiter admittedly was a nice guy, but
It was all about the food.
The food was an utter and complete disappointment, and
Yeah.
we left there very disappointed.
But we had a fun ride home.
We did, because we stopped off at the Fireworks Superstore.
I'm not going to say that I bought fireworks.
No, we're not going to admit to any
No.
purchases whatsoever.
No, I would never, drive contraband across the state line.
No.
So we're not going to admit to that.
No, but it was a fun place to look around.
It really was.
Lots of things that go boom.
Yes, and the lady there. Okay, I don't
Yeah.
even remember what town were we in. Do you remember? It was
No.
just right outside of Kansas
No,
City.
I would say you see it from the highway. I mean, it's a nice looking building, and it's Fireworks Superstore right off the
and
highway.
it is the fireworks superstore. So the lady was real
It's real
nice.
near a
Her husband
outlet
was
mall.
from Southern Illinois.
It's real, Harrisburg.
Yep. So we got to talk to her for a
Yeah.
while, and she actually played us. Because I was asking, well, what does this do? What does this do? And instead of her just looking at me and going, "Hey, dumbass," it goes boom.
Yeah.
She actually had videos.
They had videos for each one of the different types of fireworks they sell, and they had a big screen TV on the wall, and she could bring up the specific video so you could see what that firework looked like when it goes off.
It was really neat.
It was a really neat sales tactic.
I haven't bought fireworks in probably 20 years.
And
Not that I bought any
I was
this
gonna say,
time.
not that you bought any this time.
But it was a fun stop.
It was a fun stop. Then on the way further,
Oh, my God, then Stuckey's.
Stuckey's.
We went to Stuckey's.
We went to Stuckey's. Now, the thing is, folks, if you're familiar at all with Stuckey's, I don't know if they're more available in other parts of the country.
South.
But around here, they are slim to none.
Yep.
And the only one I'm aware of, the only one at all, is located between St. Louis and Kansas City. It's in there next to, or in the same building as a Dairy Queen.
In the middle of nowhere.
Absolute middle of nowhere. There are literally two buildings off this exit.
Next to an adult.
I was just about to say
Superstore,
the
yeah.
second building was the Lion's Den Adult Superstore, so you could stop off, get your porn and your dildos, and then pick up a pecan roll.
Which
at
we got the
Stuckey's.
pecan roll.
We did get the pecan roll. We
avoided
did avoid
Lion's Den.
the dildos. So, from there,
We're all stocked up here.
yeah. We're not going to admit to fireworks purchases, but we're going to adamantly deny any dildo purchases.
Yeah, that we did not even go into that parking lot.
So from there, and that required circling back. We actually passed the Stuckey's,
my fault, I was driving.
and we had to circle back to it.
Well,
because,
as we're driving by it on the interstate, all I hear Nick do is scream, "Stuckey's!"
and it was too late at that point.
So we had to go up to the next exit and
we
come
had to
back.
turn
But
around and
but
get back, and we did.
we didn't
did.
care. We were going to Stuckey's. I
And-
wanted a pecan roll.
And we bought lots of pecan rolls.
We bought
Well, you and
them
I
out of
split
pecan rolls.
one, and
we did
then
on
I
the way
bought
home.
two, and then I think you bought one.
I bought an extra one for here as well.
Yeah.
For home. Yep.
So they were out of the small ones. We bought a medium one to split in the car.
And then got two larges.
But
or
then
three
the
larges
the
to bring
rest
home.
of the rest of the mediums were really kind of hard And so we found the lady was nice enough to open up a fresh box of the large ones. So we have some very large pecan rolls.
Fatty McFatty's loaded up.
Oh, yeah. We loaded up. And not just pecan rolls, various other
It's the only place you get a Stuckey's pecan roll
Road-
anywhere close.
Oh, yeah. Road snacks.
Yep.
We had other road snacks. And
Corn
made
nuts.
our way
that
back.
Apparently they don't salt anymore.
You
'Cause there were no salt
I
on that.
tasted them. There was salt. It was just not
Next to none.
heavily salted. And I guess Jeff was looking for just a
counter to the sweet.
a sodium bomb.
Yes.
And let me tell you, well, and those pecan rolls are just stupid sweet, so that doesn't surprise me. But anyway, so
But we made it home.
we made it home, and we tried recording on the way home, as we said earlier. Didn't work. We had every intention of recording this as soon as we got home, and we were just both exhausted.
Just wiped out.
I mean, just wiped. It took everything I had to get myself home after dropping him off and get in the house and change clothes and greet my family, and then I passed out.
Crash.
So here we are.
Are you done with your cigar?
I am done with my cigar.
The La Careme is still going here. I'm down to the nub. Great cigar through and through.
It is.
I mean, really
I
creamy.
enjoyed it. I mean,
It, like you said, it's got those hints of chocolate. I can't say enough good stuff about this. And again, that's one of the things I like about us doing this podcast is I'm smoking cigars that I normally wouldn't pick up. I get into my ruts. This isn't a cigar that I would have even tried because of the dark wrapper. It's great.
yeah.
So shout out to Dave there.
I would say big shout out to Dave Payne for the recommendation.
Awesome. And again, I can't say enough about Kurt at Diebold's. Folks, if you're in Kansas City, you got to go see this cigar store. And again, lots of other stuff for guys. The shaving equipment, socks, clothes. He's got ties. A really nice pipe selection, which we didn't talk about at all. So if you're a pipe smoker, you'll love this place. But the humidor is worth going to Kansas City just to see this humidor. It really is.
It's a gorgeous, gorgeous humidor, and it's a gorgeous place. And I'm
7th annual.
really happy that Google directed me to it. Because I'll be honest, the only reason we even went is because I just Googled cigar festivals, and this one came up. And
I think we chose
it
wisely
was
for our
within
first
my
festival.
geographic region, so I figured we'd go ahead and try it out, and it was great.
Yeah, I can't say enough good stuff. Nothing but glowing reviews for Diebold's. Great store.
So for the next episode, folks, we're back to our regular schedule, and we're going to go ahead and announce our cigar that we're going to smoke next episode.
It's one of the cigars we got in
One of
our
the
VIP
cigars
pack.
we got in our VIP pack. It is the Psycho 7 Nicaragua. I believe we got the Robusto size. So I know we had at least one commenter on our Instagram say that they were interested in hearing our thoughts about the Psycho 7 Nicaragua. So you don't have to wait very long. You requested it, we'll do it. So we're gonna
We
like
are
that.
nothing if not here for you.
We are here for you. You request it, you're gonna get it. So next episode is the Psycho 7 Nicaragua Robusto.
Well, Nick, this has been a valiant effort.
I mean, it's been something.
Folks,
this has been a thing.
I would have much rather recorded this when we were fresh coming home. It didn't work. But regardless, I cannot say in hindsight enough good about the Kansas City Cigar Festival and Kurt at Diebold's. Just they did an incredible job with this, and kudos to them.
Exactly. Well, Jeff, it's been fun. This has been another sermon from the cigar pulpit. I'm the Bishop of the Burn, Nick, and he's Jeff.
Gator.
And
You know,
with that,
one thing we didn't say?
what's that?
We got recognized at this festival.
Oh, you're right.
We did.
You're right. We did.
We had somebody come up to us and say, "Are you Nick and Gator?"
And I shat myself. I didn't expect that. But no, it's true. We did have one person know who we were.
There were other people that came up and knew us, but one person specifically heard us talking to people and walked up and asked if we were Nick and Gator.
And so that was humbling.
The cigar pulpit is reaching far and wide, my friend.
It was humbling, I'll say that much.
You were humbled. I was beaming. I'm like, oh my God, they recognized us.
Well, no, I mean, I was happy, but I was very humbled.
Oh, that's
you
sweet.
So, because I'm like,
are you crying?
No.
Nick. Oh.
I'm good.
Oh, Nick.
I'm good. So,
I stepped on his clothes, but that needed to be said.
I know it did. So, Folks, subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. Tell your friends about it. Leave a review. We love the reviews, and they keep coming. So, we'll do a mailbag in the next episode to get some of those in. And just keep those coming. So, once again, I'm Nick.
Gator.
That's Gator. Stay smoky, everybody.